What is going on, guys? Welcome to GregglesTV Daily, your source for daily tech news. Make sure you subscribe so you know what's going on in the world of tech. How is everyone doing? Let's get into the news. The first story of the day is about the OnePlus Beta Oreo software that's coming out, or it's actually out right now if you're in their beta. But anyways, they have some cool new developments in their software. They have come out with iPhone X gesture control so that it completely removes the back button, the recent apps button, the home button, so that you use gestures rather than actual buttons on the screen. I like it in a way because, I mean, it's pushing the development of Android into a new direction. I know one thing, and I said this on my live stream about a week or two ago. I said that when I did play with the iPhone X, one of the things I kind of got used to was swiping up to go home, and then when I went back to my Android phone, tapping that home button, I was still trying to swipe up, swipe up, swipe up. You get used to it, actually. That's the one thing I can see that would be kind of interesting is, not having to hit home. I can just swipe up from the bottom and automatically go home. Now, I think you can also do this if you already use Nova Launcher. You can probably do the same thing, but I don't think you can hide the navigation buttons, but you could probably swipe up and it would go home. I think that's a great idea. I know some of, and he even says in the Reddit forum about the guy that's actually posted a little video on it, he even goes on to say that, the swiping home works pretty good, and then, going back is kind of wonky right now. It still needs to be updated, but this is kind of cool. I mean, are they copying iPhone? Yes. I mean, does iPhone copy Android? Yes. Does Android copy iPhone? Yes. It just happens, and unfortunately, Apple is a huge market share leader in cell phones that people buy, and companies tend to copy them, and because of that kind of stuff, wireless charging just came out on the iPhones this generation, and you know what? It's probably going to go crazy. In more locations. It'll be in more Starbucks, it'll be in more regular coffee shops and more airports and restaurants because of iPhones. Most regular people, moms, dads, your girlfriend, whoever else, have iPhones. A lot of people still have Android, but you know what? In America, it feels like more people have iPhones than anything else. So cool stuff. We'll see how it ends up turning out if they end up launching this with the real version of Oreo for OnePlus phones, but cool developments nonetheless. And our last story of the day is probably the sickest spec'd out phone you could probably ever want in your life. Comes from the same company that has already released a phone that has the built-in fingerprint sensor underneath the display. Their newest phone, the Vivo XPlay7, is crazy legit. You gotta hear these specs out. The craziest thing about this phone is 10 gigabytes of RAM, the most RAM on any phone ever. The OnePlus 5, just to give you some comparison, had 8 gigabytes of RAM, so 10 gigabytes of RAM on this phone. Also, we'll rock a Snapdragon 845, which is the latest processor from Qualcomm, an 18:9 aspect ratio on that display. Also, basically 0 bezels on the display. It looks really nice on the front there. Dual front and rear cameras. So that's right, dual cameras on the front and on the back. Storage, you can either choose 256 or 512 gigabytes of storage. A fingerprint sensor underneath the display on this phone as well, pretty crazy. And something else called Face ID 2.0, which means you can probably just unlock the phone with your face. Wow. That's crazy. That's amazing. Like, having those specs in a phone, you probably don't need 10 gigabytes of RAM. I know when, just jumping from the Pixel, which has 4 gigabytes, to a OnePlus 5T that had 8 gigabytes, I didn't really notice any difference. I think that day-to-day usage, you don't really know, especially if the phone's optimized well with software, you're not going to notice that much difference. Just day-to-day usage with, a 4 gigabyte RAM phone and an 8 gigabyte or even a 6. I mean, you do notice it with Samsung phones, going from 4 to 6 gigabytes to the Note 8. I did notice a difference. This just didn't lag, that which was nice. So I would love to see 10 gigabytes in a Samsung phone, but any other phone, you probably don't need it. But nonetheless, crazy, crazy phone. Guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day. My question of the day is, would you buy that phone, or do you wish those specs were in the next Samsung phone or the next LG phone or the next whatever phone? Let me know in the comments down below. That is pretty crazy, I know for sure. I would definitely want it in my next Samsung phone. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. New videos every single day, and I'll see you down the road. Peace!